What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So as y'all know, today is indeed going to be the big Season 6 update here in the Crew Motorfest. Yesterday, they did end up showing the Crew Motorfest Season 6 content overview. I figured I would go over this real fast because we all do know the update is going to be out today. And do not worry, by the way, I will have these sum it up later today, but with the entire maintenance thing and all that, it is going to be a tad later. But I did quickly want to go over some of this article here, guys, read through some pieces of it, because I would say some of this is honestly pretty interesting. Now, we all do know there is going to be quote unquote 17 new vehicles, expanded locations, like that one map improvement thing, like filling in that one area of the map and stuff. And there's also going to be apparently exciting gameplay updates and an overall polish. This was, of course, going to be from the small article or the beginning of the content overview on the website. The next thing I did quickly want to go over right now, though, is going to be the new playlist. Right here, guys, new playlist, Red Bull Takes Over. This season, we're introducing two adrenaline-pumping Red Bull playlists, all introduced with cinematics featuring Red Bull athletes. So the first thing I do want to say, though, is I admit that does sound pretty dope, but I gotta also say, though, I feel like having the entire playlist focus on certain things like the cinematics and all that is cool, but also I feel like in some ways it is going to be forgotten because players might watch it once, and then I do feel like in some ways they might end up skipping everything. I mean, I did that on every other playlist. Like, I might watch something first every other time, though, I skip it. So, yeah, it's going to be a cool thing, but I do feel like players might watch it once or twice and then go, okay, well, that's cool, but anyway, let me do the event. Y'all know what I mean? But the next thing, though, Red Bull Speed Clash. So this is going to be the first playlist, if you are wondering. Dive into the iconic racing disciplines like Alpha Grand Prix, Rally, MotoGP, racing cars, and motocross bikes. We're then going to have pit the best Red Bull machines against each other in a brand new playground dedicated to multi-vehicle challenges. We're then going to have experience the first multi-VCAT races in the Crew Motorfest. That is going to be a small thing on here, so stay tuned for that. I admit it does sound pretty dope. We're then going to have, can an Alpha Grand Prix vehicle leave an airplane in the rearview mirror? Can a motocross bike be a rally car? It's time to find out. Mind you, that's also going to be part of the multi-VCAT races. We're then going to have Red Bull Wild Ride, which is going to be the second playlist. Embrace the chaos on May 7th as you navigate all terrain and challenges spanning an entirety of Maui. So yes, you did hear that right. This one is going to basically be around 2 months away from this one, which is going to make sense as like a mid-season type of playlist. I would understand that. This one, by the way, is also going to have 7 races in it, similar to the first one. So if you were expecting a lot more events, this one's also going to have 7 in it, for a total of 14 races in the entire season of Red Bull, which is going to be 4 months. At least I think it's 4 months. Normally they are. We're then going to have, after that, though, choose the craziest Red Bull vehicles and perform extreme actions. We're then going to have the Red Bull Playground won't be enough for this playlist. This time, the whole of Maui will be your playground. Glad to hear that because I do feel like Maui is kind of empty, so I'm glad we're finally being able to use some of it. We're then going to have Red Bull drivers that are specialists in their discipline have set records ahead of you. Beat their records to become the ultimate Red Bull Daredevil. We're then going to have, before each event, cinematics will showcase the Red Bull athletes' performances and teasing the actions you will have to complete in the upcoming playlist. Kind of going to be cool. Again, this is going to be like the cinematic type of thing. After that, though, we're then going to have, as previously mentioned, we're expanding the Red Bull experience with a brand new Red Bull Playground, offering even more action-packed opportunities to showcase your skills. This is going to be the playground, which, by the way, I do not have access to any of this stuff yet. Obviously, today we will all be able to do it. But I was recording this video last evening, so it was probably going to be a tad difficult to do that. So if you guys are seeing the gameplay, I'm going to be using some Red Bull liveries on some vehicles in-game, which kind of fits it, maybe. Besides that, though, that thing that was going to be seen is that big Red Bull cannon thing that I'm sure you guys probably saw other YouTubers and people using and stuff. It's basically going to launch you into the air. It does honestly look pretty dope. The next part, though, is the new playlist game mode, the Multi-VCAT. So for this, I am going to show a screenshot of it, basically going over a small piece of it. There's not a ton to go on here, but again, we will be able to test this here soon with the entire playlist coming out. But basically, though, Multi-VCAT is what it says in the tin before starting an event. Players will be given an option between multi-vehicle categories and a view of the track that they're about to tackle. Choose wisely because you'll see yourself to be converted at the top spot. We're then going to have each track will adapt to whatever vehicle you choose to dominate the track in, making for a truly unique, fresh, and unforgettable experience. So basically with this, well, you are going to be able to choose from like a motocross bike, it looks like rallycross, and also Alpha GP. I'm guessing there's probably going to be drift, maybe something else in there possibly, but again, we'll be able to test this soon. Basically, you're going to be able to pick one of these classes. You'll have to race against the other category. For example, you're in motocross, they're in rallycross, you race against them, you have their own track, they have theirs. It actually does sound kind of dope. I do hope there's going to be some type of replayability here and all that, because I would say it's going to be cool going against them, having the small track in the area and all that, having your own routes does honestly sound pretty dope. Funny part is, guys, the multi-VCAT system reminds me of a game that was one of my favorites on the PS2. Not sure if anyone played this, let me know in the comments below. ATV Off-Road Ferry 4. Anyone does remember that game, there was going to be like point-to-point events on there where you basically pick like a bike, a buggy, you know, an ATV and stuff like that, or even a trophy truck. They all had specific routes. Like the dirt bike would have jumps, the ATVs could follow it, the trophy trucks would have like bigger areas like water dips, little jumps and stuff like that. This definitely does remind me of this game mode, and I would say that's going to be a good thing because I love that game mode back in that game, and I have not seen anything like that, anything newer, because we really don't have a game like that again that has every single vehicle in it with those type of events. Not sure if MX vs ATV Legends has it. It might not. I haven't played it. But then we're going to have a new playlist game mode again. This is called the Action List. In this game mode, you must complete a list of actions to succeed in this playlist. You'll need to perform them quickly, and you'll have to claim the top spot, or at least you hope to claim the top spot. So I'm guessing this is probably going to be similar to like maybe the Hoonigan update, where you're going to have to perform different things like jumps, drifts, maybe crash into stuff and all that. Bring the meter up, that way you're going to have a higher score. I'm guessing it's going to be similar to it, which in the next part it does say complete your list of actions and cross the finish line in a good time, but keep your eyes open for opportunities along the way to hit targets to increase chances of reaching the top of the leaderboard. So again, I do feel like this is probably going to be fairly similar to the Hoonigan update, to where you're probably going to have to hit stuff, do different actions, get your multiplier up and all that. It honestly is sounding fairly similar to it. We are then going to have a new feat, which is going to be the long jump. A brand new feat type is landing in Season 6, the long jump. The farther you soar, the more points you earn. Get ready to push the limits of distance and defy gravity. So the thing is with this, guys, I think the new feat is going to be dope, but I gotta say this, if it is going to be in summits, which it probably will be, we already know what every car, everybody is going to use. It's going to be drag cars. I know those are going to be the best because they do 430 miles an hour, so going over a jump instead of a hypercar doing 290, you're going to go much farther. I've said this in old videos, if they can maybe tweak the summits a bit, make the skills a tad better in a way to where it's going to be locked to a category, then if we're going to have something like a long jump, not everybody's going to use a drag car. Instead, you have to use a hyper, maybe you have to use a street tier 2, they can adjust the points to it. That would honestly make a lot of sense, but at this point, they haven't really changed anything about the summits besides a new modifier I will be talking about here in a second that's also in this article. The next thing, though, is going to be the Grand Race improvements. I'm sure everybody does know about this stuff. There's going to be weekly themed races, boosted events with increased rewards and all that, no collision modes, and a smoother competition. I really wish we can get some boosted playlists in the game. Am I right, Ubisoft? Can y'all please do that? I haven't done a grand race in probably 10 months, and honestly, I don't plan to start doing them now. Moving down here, though, we also are going to have the map enhancements, which Maui gets a makeover. We all do know some of the areas, like the houses and all that being added, the new festival type of playground thing. That is all going to be part of that. Some scenery upgrades, like different visuals, different lighting and stuff at nighttime. So that's going to be pretty nice. The other thing, though, the Summit gameplay modifier here, guys, is called Pro Racing. A new Summit gameplay modifier is arriving this season, adding fresh challenges to test your racing prowess. Plus, for the first time, the Pro Racing modifier will be featured, offering a refined competitive experience. The next part is then going to read, with the Pro Racing modifier, players can expect modifications such as no nitro cockpit view, no minimap, and no speedometer. That honestly sounds pretty interesting. I guess not having a speedometer using manual is going to be even more difficult. I do like the sound of it, and I do have a feeling players are probably not going to be a fan of the cockpit only view. That would be insane. Funny part is, I used to do many of the old summits in the cockpit view and still easily got platinum. So who knows, I guess doing some of that might end up being worth it. We're then going to have some prestige ticket news here, new seasonal content. So part of Season 3, you're going to get yourself the Ivory Tower Azu Stealth Edition or the Nissan R34 Black Panther Edition from March 5th. So it looks like, guys, I'm guessing there's only going to be 2 prestige ticket vehicles coming out in the shop. It looks like anyway on March 5th, maybe halfway through this season, they'll do 2 more or something. But I gotta admit, 2 or so vehicles, maybe 4 of them every single season is a tad ridiculous. Like, there is going to be way more prestige tickets than there is items in the shop. And if they're going to be releasing items that slowly into it, I honestly do not understand the entire idea of the custom mode with the getting the tickets if you can't use them on anything. Definitely kind of odd, but the last thing here though is going to be the new vanity type. It's going to be called evolving, so basically when this comes out, pretty much when you're going faster, there is pretty much going to be a shape or like a different color depending on the speed of your vehicle when you are driving. So this is going to be kind of dope, but at the same time, it's probably going to be another vanity item I'm most likely not even going to look at or something. But at least it is going to be something slightly new in the store. But I gotta admit though, instead of getting vanity items, I feel like players probably wanted some events or even a lot of different cars from what people are saying. A lot of people are not happy about the vehicles they are getting, which I can admit I am glad we're getting something along the off-road side of it. Like, we have a lot of street and hypercars and stuff. It is kind of nice to see something else in this game get some love and all that. Pretty dope, especially the fact that we are getting a monster truck based off the 2017 looking Raptor that's in Rally Raid. So at least that's finally going to be a thing. But overall though, guys, that is going to do it for the content overview here in the Season 6 update. Again, this is going to be out today. I will have this sum it up. I'm also going to be doing the playlist guide and all that with the challenges. And I am planning on most likely trying to get that video out on Friday, including some other topics and stuff that will be coming out in the upcoming days here after the Season 6 update. Do let me know what y'all think about this stuff in the comments below. I do admit some of this does look pretty dang dope. But I also gotta say though, my biggest concern with this update is probably along the lines of having 7 races in each playlist. We all do know the first one's going to be 7, that's going to be for 2 months. We're then going to get 7 more events in the other 2 months after that, which, like, yeah, we're getting races, but 14 races, man, is really not that many, especially with the amount of vehicles in the game that really do need more race variety. So I feel like that's kind of unfortunate. And on top of that, I think we can all admit the playlists are going to be fun, but I really do feel like in ways players are going to do them most likely in a day or so or even before that, and then they're probably going to be looking for what's next. But do let me know what y'all think about the Season 6 content overview in the comments below. At least this is dropping today so we can jump in and check everything out.